Dear listeners, raise your hand if you live in a multi-storied building. And no, I'm not talking about these ordinary beautiful skyscrapers. Well, it's too banal and, frankly speaking, not suitable for the citizens of my country. I'm talking about this. Gorgeous, amazing, marvelous, don't you think so? Yeah, it may sound hilarious, but the vast majority of Ukrainian citizens live in these masterpieces. Well, these places of living are strong and solid, but the view of them, as you can see, is not really nice. Grey, huge stone monsters which local people observe every day. In fact, these places of living affect our lives badly. It's not a secret that people living in grey, gloomy cities suffer from mood disorders and anxiety at a disproportionately high rate. And I can tell it from my experience. My hometown is a nice, cozy place where you can find a lot of low-rise buildings. So when I started living in a big city, I felt the difference immediately. Constantly encountering these concrete giants bring dullness and despair to me. You're probably somewhere down in the dumps, but fortunately, I have a solution. We need to bring them down. No, of course not. No one would change the whole building, its structure, shape, etc. It's too expensive and irrational. But what if the new implementation of greenhouses would be made? Well, it doesn't solve all the problems of people, but thanks to the eco-friendly design, we can improve our lives and change our way of thinking in a good way. Sounds impossible, unreal, and even quaint, right? But my idea will change your mind and shed light on the new alternative way of designing multi-storied buildings. It's time to massive changes. Raise your hand if you have heard about the preserved moss. I knew that. Actually, I could say so even if there were more hands, but never mind. You may have seen a few displays in high-end hotels, luxury spas, pools and gym, and even residential apartments covered with this plant. Nowadays, the preserved moss is used only in the interior of our houses. But why wouldn't we use it in the exterior? That's the solution. We can change the external part of the ugly multi-storied buildings. Having browsed the huge amount of websites and internet links, I understood that my idea can be true. So, let me consider the benefits of the preserved moss. Preserved moss is the moss in which all biological processes are stopped and water is replaced by a specific mixture that keeps this plant for decades to come. It practically does not differ in the tactile sensation. It doesn't afraid of watering, contrary to your thesis. It doesn't afraid of sun, dust, light hot temperatures, and even change of government. Can moss have any more advantages? Undoubtedly. You can attach an advertisement and grab attention of the audience immediately thanks to this plant. Let me set you an example. Let's Do It Ukraine, an eco-friendly organization which is a member of the international project Let's Do It World. This year, on the 18th of September, the ambassadors of other countries came to Ukraine to support this movement. And were upset because of the insufficient number of volunteers. They said that in our country, people are oblivious of it, and in other countries, the ads can be seen almost everywhere about this movement. Almost everywhere. You know what? We can hang a huge inscription right there so that anyone could see it. Yeah, that will do. But the name itself is not so catchy, and if we add some greenies, well, it looks unusual and environmentally friendly now. Let's compare these two pictures. The first one looks like an ordinary ads, and the second will grab the attention of passers-by immediately. So it's up to you to decide which one you would prefer. But let's return to our places of living. Recently, I have surveyed people who live in ordinary multi-story buildings. 66% of people are sure that the easiest way to achieve happiness, excluding the option of escaping to the Maldives or stealing $1 million, is for those who live in aesthetically beautiful cities and have a good mood on their way to work, home, university, etc. when they see beautiful nature around them. 93% of people are sure that it is possible to introduce such a plant element into their houses, and 95% think that their well-being will improve after seeing this type of house. 58% of people are sure that this plant element would be a perfect design for our cities. And unfortunately, 70% find this idea real, but not for our country, unfortunately. It's upsetting that such a share of people think so, but we can change it. We can start from one building, then more, then a whole district and more. Imagine how it will be nice to see the beauty of nature in your own houses. It would be also great if there were more green areas in our neighborhoods as well. Of course, you shouldn't go and gather moss or buy preserved more panels after my speech. But as you know, nothing is more powerful than an idea whose time has come. And I strongly believe in my idea, and that's why I'm sharing it with you now. So, why are we waiting? Let's do it, world!